Good afternoon, Mark Sett of HurricaneTrack.com here with your Hurricane and Hurricane HD video blog for the 12th of November 2012, taking a look at climatology during this 10-day time period of November. The 11th through the 20th, only 4 areas of development in the eastern Pacific, things starting to really wind down. A little concentration of development over the last 100 years or so in the western Caribbean. Everything else sporadic and generally random in nature as the season starts to come to a close. Water temperatures on their way down. This is the 26 degrees Celsius line or the roughly 80 degree Fahrenheit line. So things, that line is starting to retreat to the south. Down in the deep tropics, it'll stay warm throughout the winter months, but upper level winds being too strong, the lack of instability in the atmosphere, deep moisture, those kinds of things usually prevents anything from happening from December through May. It's not impossible, but it's very, very rare. Departures from normal, look at this, the anomalies in the Atlantic, really, really warm out here in the deep tropics. Won't matter now because it's November. We'll see if this hangs out until next year. Then up here in the northwest Atlantic, very, very warm compared to normal, 4 to 5 degrees Fahrenheit above normal. That's really, really significant. We will have to see what kind of an influence that has on the northern hemisphere winter, especially in the western part of the northern hemisphere, if that makes sense. Western Gulf of Mexico warmer than normal, but look here off the southeast coast and mid-Atlantic states, a definite mark of Sandy's influence, and then the nor'easter as temperature anomalies here considerably below normal, but this will probably stay that way throughout the winter, and then by the time we get to next year into June, of course, things will definitely rebound. In the eastern and tropical Pacific, combination of colder than normal here and then warmer than normal here kind of equals each other out, cancels each other out, equaling a neutral ENSO state, what we call the El Nino Southern Oscillation state. Basically, it's neutral right now. We're neither in La Nina nor in an El Nino, so no concerns there. In the Atlantic Basin, the cloud shot for today, strong upper level winds. You can tell just by looking at some of these streaks of clouds and how they stretch out, in some cases for thousands of miles. Cold front coming through the eastern United States. Temperatures that are lovely are going to get knocked back a little bit. Nothing brutal, no Arctic air on the move, and no storms to really track over the next few days. This is the GFS, valid tomorrow morning. Here's that cold front coming into the eastern United States, just some extra precip, a change in temperatures, a few disturbances out in the Atlantic, but nothing to really worry about at all. And that day 2, day 3, day 4, maybe a weak little subtropical type system. It's got a little trailing front though, so more extratropical in nature, very similar to the winter storms that come off the east coast and head out to sea. But something to watch certainly for shipping interest, although maybe the Hurricane Center will mention it in an outlook. I don't think it'll amount to too much. Then at day 5, just starting to see the possibility of something developing off the North Carolina coast that in the longer range may turn into another nor'easter that comes up to the same areas that Sandy and then the most recent nor'easter affected. We'll have to watch that, and I will cover that on these daily briefings because, it's an ocean-type storm and a lot of people could be affected, so I think it's worthy of talking about. Other than that, though, not a bad week ahead. Again, I'm Mark Sett for HurricaneTrack.com. That's my website. Always a pleasure to do these videos for you on Hurricane and Hurricane HD, and I'll be back with another one for you tomorrow.